Hey everybody, this is Kenny Cummins here. You're chilling with Kenny C. Thank you so much to everyone that's listening, tuning in. I'm joined with my next guest at this time. She is a recording artist from Tennessee. She is known as she's known for her purple hair, known for her enthusiasm. I don't know. I just made up a word off the top of my head, but that's
I
what.
am enthusiastic.
Yeah, so she is what I was trying to say was she is the purple rock goddess. She has a new song on the way called Bones that's going to be available on all the platforms on February the 24th. I'm joined with Anastasia Elliot right here, right now. How's it going?
It's going good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad to have you on and have this chat with you. You're a very, very busy lady. From my understanding, you just finished some recording and everything. So I'm glad to be able to get some time to have you on for this interview.
I'm so happy to be here. Tonight has been a wild night. We've been working on our light show for the next iteration of our show. So it's been a lot of programming, new lights, and fun visuals.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to that and your upcoming song Bones in just a bit. How did you get started in your music journey?
Well, I am classically trained in piano and opera and grew up going to a lot of operas and symphonies and ballets and being around the very theatrical side of classic art. And when I got older, I knew that classical stuff was definitely not my calling. I was a little too weird and artistic for those things, but I love them so much. So I weave them into what I do. And I wound up moving to Nashville when I was 16 and came here to write and wound up developing this project and been a whirlwind ever since. Many, many years of whirlwind.
So I got a chance to hear some of your music. One of the songs that stood out to me was Masquerade. Um, I really fell in love with the song. Very unique sound. You know how people love to put artists in a box, trying to figure out what genre they are. If anyone were to ask you the type of music that you do, how would you describe the type of music that you do?
You know, I really hate genre boxes too because it's very hard to distill yourself into just one thing, especially when I'm very multifaceted in the sounds that I do. And when you listen to the record in its entirety, it goes from more pop leaning songs to more heavier rock leaning songs and acoustic. So I kind of encompass it in pop rock because even when I'm going into the heavier rock territory, I think my melodic tendency is still more pop leaning, but say pop rock with symphonic touches is kind of what I call it.
All right, that's cool. I it feels like most of today's artists has leaned towards not being in a box. It's like they try to go from one genre to another, or maybe try to combine genres per se.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a smoothie of sorts to
Yeah.
these, and you come up with different flavors and trying to stir it up and everything, and hope it tastes as good at the end of the day. So
Yeah, I
just
mean, when I'm writing music, I don't always like write in my genre. Like, I mean, I have tracks that are straight up hip hop tracks, but if I were to actually like use them and put them out, I would just produce them to sound like me and what I do. So I write kind of all over the board when it comes to genre, and then I just make it sound like me in the production in the end. I think that makes it pushes me to do things more interestingly and differently.
oh, it definitely does. So Masquerade, The Shattering. I've heard a few more songs. I definitely like what I hear.
Thank you.
Very, very unique sound. um, staying true to yourself. You know, you definitely got a message
Always.
behind your music. So you just standing up for all sorts of good things. So I'm very intrigued,
Thank
Miss
you.
Elliott, of your music, and I'm looking forward to hearing Bones, which is your
Yes.
next release coming out on February 24th. You
Yes.
all can pre-save that song right now. Um,
Please do.
so on all the platforms, and again, it's coming out on February 24th. Talk about this particular song, Bones. Talk to the story behind it, the recording process. Talk about this particular upcoming song for Bones.
All right. So Bones is the fifth single off of the visual album that's going to be releasing in May, and the whole I can't talk about the song till I explain the album real quick, but
Yeah.
the whole album it's called La Petite Mort, and it's based off of my plane crash that I was in and all of the phases of trauma and trauma healing that I went through following that. So it starts with crash landing and then goes on through all these phases, and Bones is the part of the story that discusses like trauma bonding and kind of that unhealthy love that we can reach for sometimes after we go through things that are catastrophic or that really shake our lives, and we're like looking for anchors. And I think sometimes we can chase unhealthy people when we are unhealthy ourselves, and I definitely did that in my process. I trauma bonded to someone that was not good for me and therefore became an unhealthy person myself. And the music video depicts this through I'm a cannibal queen and eating pilots as they fly over my island. So um, we I love showing those kinds of story meanings through kind of fantastical visuals. So Bones is my cannibal queen man eating song.
You're gonna make me feel concerned about that, the man eating part, Uh, but just hearing your story about it and what you have gone through, it's definitely going to be on display with this upcoming record
Yes.
in a couple of months. So it's gonna be definitely feel like a roller coaster. Um,
Hmm.
but at the same time, gonna be partying, gonna be jamming, you're gonna be vibing. It's gonna be all sorts of emotions, and I definitely appreciate you willing to share your experiences, because stuff like this, you know, a lot of people are gonna listen to this, and there's gonna be people here and there be like, wait a minute, I've been through a certain circumstance, or I know someone
Hmm.
that's been through the circumstance, and music has a
Yeah.
way of impacting people's lives, and
I
you
very
know,
much believe that trauma is relative, and I love giving speeches about trauma and creativity because trauma kind of became my shtick after this. But I mean, this album for me is going to be crazy to release now because it's been in the works for a decade, 10 years of my life, and in those 10 years, I've gone through a plane crash and the loss of a major record deal, the vocal surgery, like crazy relationships that were, you know, insane. Like a lot of things that I love that are weaved into the story of this project. And I think there's something for everyone to learn from it because my main mission is to show people that you can turn the dark things in your life that happen into the things that make you the most uniquely creative. And I think that you never meet somebody that you find fascinating and interesting and then learn that they've never been through anything in their life. Like, usually, the most captivating and interesting people are the ones that have been through some really dark shit and have come out of it the other side. And I don't think that's avoidable in life. So I love being able to find people when they're either having trouble moving on from things or are in the middle of it and show them that even something like a plane crash for me turned into a beautiful big work of art that's consumed a decade of my life.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a blessing in disguise. That's
Yeah,
definitely the
I wouldn't trade any of those
yeah.
horrible experiences for anything in the world because I wouldn't be half the person I am without them.
Absolutely. So be on the lookout for Bones, the upcoming single number
Yes.
5.
Single
It's
number
coming
5?
out on the 24th this month. And she did just reveal a full length project is coming
I
in May.
did.
And so be on the lookout for that as well. So you definitely have so much to look forward to in the coming months. And I'm excited about it, especially hearing these songs that I've heard already. I'm psyched to hear Bones. Definitely want to hear it, and I look forward to. I'm gonna pre-save it
Yes.
once I conclude this interview. So
Yay.
you're good with me in that regard. So anything else you have in the works outside of this full length project? What else you got going on?
Wow, I am currently working on booking more shows. We're hoping to do an East Coast tour over the summer, and um, I'm going to NAM in April to give a talk on wearable technology for musicians because I'm about to launch the first AR enabled merch line, which is going to be super exciting and fun. And I'm currently writing 2 albums, so it's it's busy over here, making lots of new music and also working. I mean, most of my time right now is working on getting this first big baby out in the world, this first project. But we're also writing the next 2 albums, and I'm so excited about them.
Translation. She gonna be busy for the rest of the year.
We're busy. We're busy. It's
She's
morning till night right now.
she in album mode. That's the phrase. Or double album mode. I mean, she already got one project done. And now she's gonna work on another one.
Yeah,
So
I didn't intend to start 2 at the same time, but the third album is going to be so high concept that I started writing other songs that didn't really belong with it. And I was like, this is going to be a middle project. It'll buy me more time with this concept album, this other concept
yeah,
album.
yeah. I'm definitely want to interview you. By the time that next project comes out. So
Hmm.
we'll definitely talk down the road for that. So we got some mutual friends, it appears, because
Yeah.
I've heard of you. I think I've already mentioned this to you on Twitter a while back. I heard of you through a fellow Tennessee act, goes by the name of Sleep Nation.
Yes.
So I've interviewed those guys,
Oh,
and they kind of
they're
I think
wonderful.
I think they may have retweeted your tweet or music or whatever. I'm like, okay,
I love that.
let me check out Miss Elliot here.
Oh,
See,
thank
let,
you.
let
They're
me yeah,
gonna
let me see what they all let me see what Miss Elliot all about. And
thank you
then
so
I was
much.
like, yeah, she the
They're
one. She the
thank you. They're awesome. They opened for me in January. We played a show here together and sold it out, and it was an amazing night.
so here's another thing I wanted to ask you. Now, obviously, you're in Nashville, at least in surrounding area of Nashville, or just Nashville in general. Music city of the world. You know, it's a music is a very heavy music city, most
Mm,
notably known for country music. But
yes.
I have interviewed people in Nashville that doesn't necessarily do country. It's a
Hmm.
music city, and they call it Music City, obviously. And people love music in general. There's plenty of places to go to hear live music. You definitely bring a different sound. You definitely bring a unique sound for in Nashville as far as
Hmm.
the music scene. So just talk about just as a Nashville musician, just making a name for yourself, doing music the way that you want to do. Just talk about the whole experience, just being in Nashville, trying to get yourself heard there.
Even though Nashville's called Music City, I don't think it's one of the best music scenes, and we're working very hard to change that. In my experience and years living here, it's predominantly a very industry-based city. So a lot of the people that are attending shows regularly work in music in some way or are also artists themselves. So it's not the best place for building, I think, strong like local scene supporters. Like it's just not the same vibe as going to other cities. And I think we only have like, 3 venues that we can even really play here. Like there's not a lot of venues. The venues that are bigger don't necessarily support a lot of smaller acts or local acts. And it's a very, I think, gatekeepery city and very clicky. Um, but because of that, because I don't like to play games like that, we are working very hard to change that scene. And so I've been hosting writing camps and bonfires for networking. And like we're trying to really work on growing a scene because there are a lot of fantastic artists here and people here that live here but don't necessarily feel supported by this city. And even in the shows that we want to play, there's not a lot of bills for us to hop on or a lot of things for us to do here. So we've just started creating events ourselves that we're putting together and hosting and being able to support, younger acts than me or even pulling out in bigger acts than me. And we're putting on our own events. So I think right now, it's taking a little bit more work to bring a more left of center scene to Nashville and really make it feel supported. But I mean, in just a few years of doing that, we've seen significant growth, which was shown to me in this show in January that we only had a week to sell tickets for, and it wound up being one of the biggest shows the venue's had. So we are making progress, but I think a lot of your like locals or tourists that are going to shows here are still attending the shows on Broadway and kind of the country scene. It's still, I think, predominantly country for the support of the city. I think a lot of people here are not necessarily like just people looking to discover music. Like you're not just gonna like happen upon a show here. Like if you were not personally invited or you didn't know about like weren't told about it, you're not gonna just know what's happening. Or there's not like a row of rock bars that you're gonna just stumble into a great show. Like you kind of have to have intentionality here. So it just takes a lot more hustle, I think.
Yeah, it definitely takes work, especially those outside of that country music realm. Like really try
Mhm.
to get yourself heard. It definitely takes time, takes collective effort, and quite honestly, it definitely takes these venues getting on board,
Yeah,
trying to get different genres on there.
yeah,
Because granted, people listen to more than just one genre.
absolutely.
There's plenty of
Well,
incredible
I think
talented here.
to to that point, I mean, that's kind of the thing here. Like, there's next to no metal scene or, you know, hip hop rap scene. Like, I don't even know. I can name you one hip hop or rap artist that lives here that I know of, and I'm active in the scene and metal acts too. Like, we notice when we're looking for shows that we just want to attend, a lot of heavier bands or even rock bands, like they'll skip Nashville entirely and go to Louisville or Memphis and skip Nashville on their roots. And I think that's why like this scene here still I don't think supports all of the genres have to offer. Like even our rock radio stations, like they very much support like one style or like, we'll have contests here that call themselves rock contests, but every artist sounds like the Lumineers that makes it through. So it's kind of like we're still missing, I think, that variety, which is why it's hard for me to say I think it deserves to be called Music City because when you go to New York or Austin, like you get so much variety of music. Like you can be on one street and there'll be like a metal show, a rap show, a rock show, a pop show. Like you're just getting that variety. And here, I think our spectrum is still very closed.
So after hearing what you say, given your experience being in that city, you definitely bring up a valid point as far as Nashville being known as Music City, considering they are not necessarily known of spreading um, the other genres. So yeah, you definitely bring a valid point.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, I think there's potential here, and I think the infrastructure is here, and I think there's enough people that care to see it change. But I think the people that just outright say, "Oh yeah, Nashville's a great music scene," and then I start asking them all kinds of questions, like, "Is it really though? Like, if you really like, where's this genre and where is this, and like, where would they even play?" Like, it's kind of I don't know. I hope very much that it grows and I hope to raise awareness around this.
yeah. And I know some artists in Nashville, not necessarily country. I know pop, hip hop,
Mhm.
rock, and some of them may have to do shows outside of it. Louisville is a nice spot. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that because
Yes.
I live an hour from there. I live in Kentucky. I live in Lexington,
Nice.
more specifically.
Nice.
So I have enjoyed this conversation.
Me
Um,
too.
Great to have you on here, Anastasia Elliot. Go check out her upcoming single Bones on February 24th. You can pre-save it right now on the platform of your choosing. And she just mentioned full length project coming in
May
May of
5th.
May the 5th. And she's going to be hitting the East Coast tour and get some shows booked and everything. So, where can people find you on the internet as far as?
If we come to Louisville, will you come see us?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll book a show in Louisville just to come see you.
Oh,
We You can find us on you can I'm personally I'm most active on Instagram. That's where my home is. But I at Anastasia Elliot on Instagram, Twitter, soon TikTok. TikTok's coming. I Whether I like it or not. And Facebook as well. I think it's at official Anastasia Elliot on there. And there's a private Facebook community that I have called the Purple Cult. And um, yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere there's music, and YouTube. Definitely go check out the videos that accompany all the songs for the album because we do all of the set design and costume design. It's a DIY labor of love. So definitely check out all of the videos. There's lots of hidden Easter eggs and things for you to find there.
very, very mysterious of you. I like it. And I did join the Purple Cult a while back,
Yay!
so I might be posting.
I'm about to be doing the purple coat a lot more justice. I've been the worst at well, really the reason is I've been trying to get the TikTok going, which isn't going so well. And then I'm like, you know what? I just need to focus on my community. A
Yeah,
lot. We do a lot all the time. It's hard to keep up with everything.
right, right. Well, it's great having
Growing.
you. It's great to have you on the show this evening. Very, very busy girl.
Thank you so
But
much.
I appreciate you taking the time. I'm looking forward to Bones on the 24th, and I'm looking forward to your project. And I am doing this Music Monday thing when I just play songs, independent songs, local, unsigned artists.
Oh,
And
nice.
by default, you're on there. And
Yay.
I'm probably gonna be playing every single song off this project,
Oh,
and it starts
oh,
with
that's
Bones.
that makes me so happy. This every song is on here for a reason. They're all special to me. So I hope you enjoy them all.
Oh, I definitely will. Thank you so much for your time. And if you were to able to get a show in Louisville,
Yes, I'll be
I'll
there.
I'll make an effort and get in there. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you all for tuning in. That's going to conclude the interview. Again, this is Anastasia Elliot, the Purple Rock Goddess. Um, the Bones single coming out February 24th. New album, May the 5th. Go get that as well. She is coming to an East Coast city near you at the moment, and she'll get some more shows here and there as the year progresses. Thank you all for listening.